Return no. Note the reverse function is
Testing.
not require that its this value be an array object. Therefore, it can be transferred to other kinds of objects for use as a method. Whether the reverse function can be applied successfully to a host object is implementation dependent. 5, 4, 4, 9 array prototype shift. The first
That cheese pizza is getting to me.
let O be
Little Caesars.
let len val be the result of calling the let len be 32
Pizza crust or pretzel crust.
undefined. Let first be the result of calling the let 1 repeat
Really super cheesy gooey.
E F call the
Pretzel cheese on the pizza. Way too much. Pretzel cheese.
from present be the result of calling the internal method of O with argument from. If from present is true, then I let from val be the result of calling the
I'm waiting for these settings to save.
I call the
Any second now. Come on. Save. Stream settings. Save.
to string len 1
I think it's saved.
return first. Note the shift function is intentionally generic. It does not require that its this value be an array object. Therefore, it can be transferred.
Oh my god. What is up with the script?
Whether the shift function can be applied successfully to a host object is implementation dependent. 5, 4, 4, 1 0 array prototype slice, start, end. The slice method takes two arguments, start and end, and returns an array containing the elements of the array from element start up to, but not including, element end, or through the end of the array if end is undefined. If start is negative, it is treated as length plus start where length is the length of the array. If end is negative, it is treated as
YouTube has
length of the array.
a button that says show more.
The result of calling to object pass
There's like two of them.
the argument letter be
I'm just trying to like navigate the website, quickly click, get done.
in constructor with
Gotta scroll to the bottom, find the stupid button, click it, and then it doesn't load. Then gotta refresh, click it again. Oh, no, it's not loading. Oh my god, come on.
let k be max, len plus relative start, 0, else let k be min, relative start, len,
What's up with this website?
and be len, else let relative end be to integer, and, if relative end is negative, let final be max, len plus relative end, 0, else let final be min, relative end, len, let 0, 0, repeat. While
Saved. Finally.
2009 127, a let pk be to string, k, be let k pres
Okay, so
method of O with argument pk, c,
I'm done complaining about 64-bit computing, whatever, programming.
to string, n, property,
For now, at least.
true,
For now, I'm done bitching. I'm done bitching, whatever. But later on, I'll bitch some more.
of the slice method is 2. Note the slice function is intentionally generic. It does not require
So for now, I'm done bitching. But I gotta check out this again.
use as a method. Whether the slice function
I needed to give an example of calling
5,
get system file time
1 array prototype sort, compare f and the element
because I went down a rabbit hole of figuring out relative addressing. I finally have it figured out.
in their original order. If compare f
And because I figured it out, this is really confusing now. I don't want to pass in the wrong address,
by 0,
and I can't assume. Because Windows sucks, and if I pass in a bad address, it might just screw something up. So I don't want to do that.
calling the
So I gotta re-ask chatbot, and I'll tell it to put default relative, so it's like the rest of the other files I have, and however it makes whatever
if proto is not
whatever it outputs, then I'll be able to figure out
that all of the conditions below are satisfied.
if this is assumed to be absolute, but I think it's assumed to be relative. But if it's assumed to be relative, this just makes it relative when it's already relative, so there's no point in having relative. So I don't know why chatbot
false. Any array
would put relative, if that was the case, which is why I'm confused.
data property whose attribute is false. The behavior of sort is also implementation defined.
And if it is relative, and you have another relative, does it make it double relative? I don't know if that's relative either. So, I need to drink some water. I'm not even saying words right. This is so boring. Alright, I'm gonna ask chatbot. I'm gonna drink some water. Because my tongue is sticking to the top of my mouth.
Methods will be the value true.
I'm too lazy to pronounce words. Anyways.
8. Copyright sign. ECMA International 2009. The returned
I asked chatbot to call us again. Then I'll get to some time.
mathematical permutation.
Mikrobi.
All I need to figure out is if this is relative or absolute. I'm pretty sure it's relative, but I don't want to assume.
J existed, then new.
P.
J is exactly
And then I'm going to call to get to system time.
property old. J didn't
And when I get to system time,
exist. Then for all non-negative integers,
I'm going to log it here.
and len. If sort compare. J
I'm going to type it in to log it.
J
P.
K.
It'll make the executable. When I build it, it'll log it to here. And I'll call
Executed. A function comparefn is a consistent comparison function for a set of values s if
this twice to get to system time, then to get to system time, and figure out how long it takes to get to system time. Because I don't know how slow or fast it is, and it's going to affect the timing of the speed test. So, this is just going to keep going on and on. This is really annoying. I can't just simply get the time. Everything sucks. So, I'm going to ask chatbot. I'm going to try to figure it out. I gotta stop complaining. For now at least. And try to get something done. So that's what I'm trying to do.
L L B E T R U E F O R A G I V E N P A I R O F A N D. Calling comparefn A B does not modify this object. A equals CFA reflexivity. If A equals CFB, then B equals CFA symmetry. If A equals CFB and B equals CFC, then A equals CFC. If A CFB and B CFC, then A CFC. If A CFB and B CFC, then A CFC. Note the above conditions are necessary and sufficient to ensure that comparefn divides the set S into equivalence classes and that these equivalence classes are totally ordered. When the sort compare abstract operation is called with two arguments j and k, the following steps are taken. Let j string be to string j, let k string be to string k, let hast be the result of calling the internal method of obj with argument jstring. Let hask be the result of calling the internal method of obj with argument kstring. If hast and hask are both false, then return +0. If hask is false, then return 1. If hask is false, then return -1. Let x be the result of calling the, let y be the result of calling the 0. If x and y are both undefined, return +0, 1. If x is undefined, return 1, 2. If y is undefined, return 1, 3. If the argument comparefn is not undefined, then if is callable. Comparefn is false. Throw a type error exception. B return the result of calling the internal method of comparefn passing undefined as the this value and with arguments x and y. 4. Let x string be to string x. 5. Let y string be to string y. 6. If x string y string, return 1, 7. If x string, y string, return output ASM code. For x86 64-bit 64 with default rel to run with Win11, that will pass in to get the result from call get system time precises file time. Here is a minimal NASM x86-64 assembly example using default rel that compiles and runs on Windows 11, calling get system time precise as file time.
Chatbot is the source of my confusion with this 64-bit computing and trying to figure it out. So Chatbot gave me this.
LCX, file time. LCX equals pointer to file time. Call get system time precise as file time. Call Windows API.
Okay, so Chatbot gave me this, but this time I asked it for default relative up here. So with default relative and bit 64, this time last time it didn't do it. This time it did, but it gave me this. Here, you see that? Now, last time it gave me this. Okay, last time it gave me this. At the very top of this file, there is no rel default relative, and there is no bits 64, okay? This one, it did. It has default relative, and it has bit 64. Now this is my confusion, so I'm going to ask it as Chatbot to give me a yes or no. If it is true by default that it is default absolute, which it should be, because in the NASM documentation, it says relative and absolute relative and absolute rip relative addressing, and it says this sets whether register list instructions. Register this. In, well, that's a whole nother thing. Dang it. Okay, it says in 64 mode are rip relative or not. By default, they are absolute unless overridden with rel specifier. Okay, you see that? So that means if it's a label, an absolute address. So if it's an absolute address, 64 mode, they are absolute unless you override by putting rel inside of it. And then it says, however, if default rel is specified, which is this is default rel. It's in the output Chatbot also. I fucking hate 64-bit assembly, for the love of shit. Once I figure it out, I'm good. Until then, I'm just trying to get yes or no. I don't have time to write a whole bunch of code and then rewrite it. I'm already trying to convert an engine that I have, and I can't get back to it until I figure this shit out. Because once I'm done with that, I'm gonna be writing in this shit to finish up my JavaScript engine. I'm not gonna get into it. It's gonna be fast. The fastest fucking JavaScript engine. It'll be fast as fuck. It's gonna replace C. It won't replace C. It'll be comparable with C, but faster. Because if I write faster assembly, then the shit ass C compiler is gonna be faster than C. But parts of it will be in C. Because I'm not gonna write an entire assembler and I have to keep it cross-platform-ish. So most of it will be in C, but sprinkles of it, I'm gonna put assembly. And this assembly, 64-bit assembly, sucks. So anyways, default rel. Right here. If that is not specified, which means now it's specified, if I get rid of it, it's not. So now it's not specified. This is specified. Now it's specified. Now it's not. So when it's not specified, rel is default. Okay? Do you understand my confusion? It says if default rel is specified, relative is default. Okay, maybe it means that if it's specified, it is default. It's not saying else it's not default. That's probably what it means. So that means unless overridden with the abs, not my abs, I'm talking about the absolute specifier, except when used with an FS or GS segment override. I think that involves threading or whatever the OS decides to use FS or GS for. Windows and Mac use it for different purposes. They both, whatever. So it says, unless overridden with the absolute specifier. Wait, what? You could put an FS or GS segment? Oh, that makes sense. The modern OS. Okay, I get it. I don't know. I just figured out a whole bunch of shit. A whole bunch of shit. The modern OS, it sucks ass. So I think it means you could do this. I say it. It doesn't matter. It does so, but it doesn't matter to you. I could do something with it though. Anyways. So, if relative default is specified, it's the default. If it's not, then what state is it in? right? It's like, if it's not specified, what is it? And it says, by default, they're absolute. So it should be absolute. Oh, now I get it. So FSGS. I'm thinking about completely different things. Alright. Alright, right here. The special handling of FS and GS overrides are due to the fact that these are generally because Windows and Mac use them different purposes. I didn't even read this yet. Side pointers or special functions. In 64 mode. In generating RIP relative addresses would be extremely confusing. This whole thing is fucking confusing. It's not about confusing. It's about performance, I'm pretty sure. And then it says default relative is disabled with default abs. This is so annoying. First off, I'm going to ask chatbot if both pieces of code it gave me are correct. If that's true, then it means that by default, it's already default rel. And if not, I think I'm like to default absolute or whatever. I don't know, I'm gonna ask chatbot and figure out. Because chatbot is making things way more confusing. It tells you one thing, and then you base all the things you know off the other things it said. And when one thing it said is incorrect, all those other things, they're also incorrect. So you have to like rethink the whole thing. So I'm going to ask it, would this work also? And I literally just took what it says here. Let's do it again. I'll do copy. I hit paste. Except now, I'm going to take this out. So now it's out. Because that's what chatbot output for this. It doesn't have bit64 or default relative. Yet, when it makes this call, it does Lee RCX the same exact way. So one of these has to be wrong. Because one of them should be absolute. And the other should be relative. Without that keyword, one of them is an error, with or without. So I'm trying to figure out which one is the error. Because in the documentation, it's extremely confusing to read. So here we go. Or, better yet, here I go. And if you're watching the stream, you should stop watching, turn on your computer, start programming, do something with your life. Don't watch me. Don't watch anyone else live their life. Go live your life. So stop watching other people live their lives and live your life. So, I'm gonna see what happens. It says no, which means chatbot gave me broken code. So I'm gonna ask chatbot, is this output you gave me prior valid, or is it broken? This is literally what it gave me last time. I could rewind and show you from the other 12-hour stream. I could probably actually find it. It wouldn't take that long. But I'm tired. This is what it gave me. Literally what it gave me. I made sure not to mess it up because I made a copy of it underneath it, and I changed the copy. So I didn't touch the original because I want to keep the original. So now I copied the original to here to be like, look, this is the original. This is what it gave me. So I'm gonna ask chatbot if this code is safe to run. And it should say no. It should say no. Because I've removed the default relative. And it's doing load LCX. I mean RCX. The same exact way. Chatbot sucks. In 64-bit assembly is so confusing that there's a ton of money to be made. Because there's a ton of like loopholes, little speed boosts that everybody is missing that I can take advantage of. The fastest around. I gotta take a chill pill. I'm joking. Chill pills aren't a thing. I don't know what a chill pill would be. I have to stop stalling. If anything, I need the opposite of a chill pill. I'm gonna fall asleep. So I'm gonna ask chatbot, is this code safe to run?
Is this code safe to run? Yes or no?
It doesn't have default relative. It doesn't have default relative like this. And it looks exactly the same as this. So chatbot should say no, this is not safe to run. If it does, then I'm okay. It's like, okay, at least it recognized it. If it says it's safe to run, I'm gonna be really confused because this thing just chatbot, it goes back and forth. So I'm hoping it says no, and I'll just drop it because it means I made a bad output. I don't care to keep pushing and asking. What I want to ask after that. I want to ask chatbot if default is absolute always, or if default is relative always. And what the default is, I assume is, and I hope, is absolute. And if it's not, if it is, whatever it is, I'm going to set default absolute at the top of the file so I can be absolutely certain that it won't pull this default relative shit on me. Everything is shit. I want to like minimize the shit to deal with. So now I'm going to ask it. I'm so tired of this. I just want to figure it out once and for all.
Is this code safe to run? Yes or no?
God damn it. At least it caught it. So chatbot makes bad fucking code.
No, the code you posted is not fully safe as is for a modern Windows 11 system, because it lacks default rel, which makes it position dependent and potentially unsafe under ASLR. Modern Windows 11 system. Modern, 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 modern.
For modern, I won't get into it. Windows 11 is not modern. And it says this is what's wrong. Exactly what I'm trying to get at. For fuck's sake. Fuck you, chatbot. Fuck you. Man, chatbot has wasted so much of my time.
LeRCX, file time. Red exclamation mark, what's wrong? This is not guaranteed to be RIP relative without default rel, meaning it may encode an absolute address. Same issue with NASM, copy, edit, LeRCX, rel FMT. You're using rel, but NASM still requires default rel to enforce RIP relative mode consistently.
Okay, now I'm going to put default absolute. At the top of the code that it said isn't safe to run. Which means that now I need to be explicit about what is relative. And it holds true earlier that I was questioning about, where I asked it for yes or no. Right here. So that means that this is completely true. I was going back and forth because I wasn't sure, but now I'm certain that the way programs run when set up, where the move uses an absolute address anywhere, it makes the code non-position independent, which defeats the whole point of position independent code on the x86_64. So now I have to put relative here specifically because Windows 11, the modern operating system,
Modern Windows 11 system. Modern Windows 11 system. Modern.
here is hypocrisy. The
Modern.
operating system says that this code that I gave it is not safe because it lacks,
Which makes it position dependent and potentially unsafe under ASLR.
it makes it position dependent. Okay? Which is unsafe. Which means that right here, when I type in rel, because it's not safe, and I made it absolute intentionally, which means I do have to make it relative to make it safe, because after I ask chatbot again if this is correct, whatever, it should say yes, because I'm fixing it. Like, I'm actually fixing it, so like it'll run, because I do need to run this. I'm actually writing it right here. I have to get back to it. So I'm fixing it, so it should run. But when I fix it with rel, now this Windows call is actually position dependent. Because to call relative and assign it, apply it to this path, it makes else RCX hold a direct address, a position dependent address. So this independent position program passes in a dependent position address right here. It's not going to highlight, but it passes it in to call get system time as precise file time. Therefore, the modern operating system, when running position independent code, the modern OS uses position dependent addressing in independent position code, which means that it breaks its own fucking rules. Do you understand? So I'll ask chatbot if this is independent position code on the modern OS, and it will say no, because it's not. 64-bit computing is a fucking joke. Windows is going to be obsolete. They're going to go out of business. So I'm going to ask chat about this. And I don't know. I cannot believe that this is factual. This is ridiculous. This is just so stupid. This ruins it. This is like Santa Claus. I never believed in Santa Claus. When people find out that he's not real, they freak out. I had such high hopes for 64-bit processing. They've all been crushed. It needs to be rewritten. The whole thing from the bottom up. It's not possible to even just keep this shit. It has to be rewritten. So I asked Chatbot if this sample of code, is this sample of code position dependent or position independent? And let's see what Chatbot says. Because Chatbot just said,
no, the code you posted is not fully safe as is for a modern Windows 11 system.
It said the code is not safe. Here's why.
Because it lacks default rel, which makes it position dependent and potentially unsafe under ASLR.
But the program is running as position independent. So how the fuck is it safe to have position dependent code when the program is running as position independent? It's not safe. It's bullshit. So I'm gonna ask Chatbot. Okay, here we go. The big question when it comes, well, I don't know, my big question. I am so pissed off. Everything's fake. Just everything is fake as fuck. So, let's see what Chatbot says about this. Because Windows runs on position independent code, and we pay tons of money for these CPUs, and we expect them to do what they say. And under the hood, they're calling position dependent code, completely undermining the whole feature of position independent code. and they teach everyone to write the code as common convention in a way that keeps it true that the code is not position independent. And everybody's writing code like it's for 32-bit when they didn't have that feature. This is like a brand new feature, 64-bit CPU computing, and it's not even using the CPU as intended. Not only that, but they also say things like position dependent code is not safe, but if position dependent code is not safe, then why are Windows calls bound to using position dependent calls? Why are the arguments position dependent if it's not safe? That's what I'm asking Chatbot. So I want to see what it says to see if it can spot the hypocrisy of the
modern
operating system. This is why Windows is going to be replaced. I can't say who will replace it. I can't say what company, but I can say that it will be made obsolete, just like the Windows Phone. You probably didn't even know that the Windows Phone was a thing. The Windows Phone.
Windows Phone.
They can't even make a mobile operating system. These people are the stupidest. Anyways, I'll have it read this for a second. Then I'll get back to my question for Chatbot. Then I'm going to get back to programming, and I finally have the truth of this shit. And I finally have it figured out. Like, finally, totally figured out. And I figured out a whole bunch of other things, too. It's all a shit show.
Windows Phone. From Wikipedia, the free encyclopedia. Windows Phone, WP, is a discontinued 6 mobile operating system developed by Microsoft Mobile for smartphones as the replacement successor to Windows Mobile 7, 8, and Zune 9. Windows Phone featured a new user interface derived from the Metro design language. Unlike Windows Mobile, it was primarily aimed at the consumer market rather than the enterprise market. 10. Microsoft's eventual acquisition of the company's mobile device business for just over $7 billion, which included Nokia's then CEO Stephen Elop joining Microsoft to lead its in-house mobile division. Microsoft laid off the Microsoft Mobile staff in 2016-15, after having taken a write-off of $7.6 billion on the acquired Nokia hardware assets. 16, while market share sank to 1% that year.
What? They got their money back? Oh, that's bullshit. What the fuck? They made money off of putting Nokia out of business. What? Oh, those dirty motherfuckers. They acquired Nokia for just over 7 billion, and then they wrote it all off, and they got 7.6 billion. Oh my god. That's a scandal. Microsoft is gonna get it, like for real. They're gonna go out of business. They're gonna get heavy. Anyways. I didn't know that. Now I know. Literally a shit show. Everything. Bunch of fucking narcissists running these major corporations. And narcissists are stupid as fuck. They're so dumb. That's why they're highly narcissistic. Because they just don't get it. Anyways. I know there's a couple people who will think that was directed at them, and it really wasn't. Because I don't care. Someone can have a narcissistic collapse 3, 4, or 5 times, and they get back up, and they don't learn. End the cycle. Fucking learn. Grow as a human being, for fuck's sake. Anyways. Here's what Shepard says. I still gotta ask it. So this is what I'm gonna ask it. I have to stay on track. I gotta stop.
So Win11 runs x86-64 position-independent programs, position-independent being a feature of the x86-64 CPU that the 32-bit x86 CPU did not have. But the modern operating system needs calls to be made like this. LRCX, rel file time, call get system time precise as file time is that code sample I gave you position dependent and potentially unsafe under ASLR.
So let's see what Shepard says. I love when people say, I gotta be the bigger person. I don't have to. I'm going to. When people like call you an enemy or whatever, you know, I won't get into whatever. I'm gonna stay on track. There are so many people off the tracks. They're so fucking insecure. It's funny. They're like, you know what? Oh my god. I'm not gonna say it. Okay, here's what chatbot says.
Tick short answer, no. Your code sample is not position dependent if you use LRCX, rel file time. That specific line is safe and position independent, assuming your assembler, like NASM, respects rel, especially if you've enabled default rel.
Aha, that's where the issue is. So now I'm gonna ask chatbot, what if the position of the program changes as it's running before it makes the call, but after it has assigned to RCX the position dependent address. So once this is assigned, if the program is repositioned in memory, is it safe to call this? Yes or no? That's what I'm going to ask it. I'm going to see what it says. And if it says no, then it was intentionally lying right here.
I want a yes or no if this executed lrcx, rel file time, and then the program was repositioned in memory, and a new program started running where it was running. And then the call gets system time precise as file time executes. Is that safe code since a new program is running at that position?
And here's what chatbot says. Ta-da! Ta-da! Da-da-da-da! Da-da-da-da-da! Da-da-da-da! I win. I always win. Anyways. It would suck to lose. It would really suck. Especially lose, whatever. I could. And yeah, whatever. So I said, is that safe code?
Is that safe code since a new program is running at that position? No.
Now I'm gonna ask chatbot, why is it not safe code?
Why is it not safe code now?
I exposed or I changed the fundamental assumption. Can you believe that? the word assumption. God damn. These stupid motherfuckers.
It's not safe in the scenario you described because you changed the fundamental assumption of how programs execute. Here's why.
It's almost as dumb as the narcissist assuming that if they hoover, you'll come back to them. It's even stupider than that. I mean, the power of assumption can only go so far. When it comes, you know what? Everything is dumb as fuck.
Fundamental assumption.
I cannot believe the x86_64 CPU. This thing is a joke. For fuck's sake. Like literally. For it to say this, to say no, it's not safe, it's not secure, that code is vulnerable, it's going to expose the user because it's not safe code.
No, the code you posted is not fully safe as is for a modern Windows 11 system, because it lacks default rel, which makes it position dependent and potentially unsafe under ASLR.
I just went to the wrong one. There's too many questions here. Okay, overall though, I think it's this one.
Tick short answer. No, your code sample is not position dependent if you use LRCX, rel file time. That specific line is safe and position independent, assuming your assembler, like NASM, respects rel, especially if you've enabled default rel.
Okay, so it said that. It said
sample is not position dependent if you use LRCX, rel file time.
so they're saying that it is position independent, this line, because it's under the assumption
the fundamental assumption of how programs execute,
which is that once started, the position independent code will be position dependent because once the program starts, they don't change the position, even though it's a feature of the CPU. Which is a shit ass assumption. The whole point of position independent is to be position independent. In Windows, to make the calls position dependent, depending on the position, is fucking ridiculous. It makes the whole thing unable to be position independent.
fire, scenario you gave, LRCX, rel file time, executes. This computes an address based on the current RIP instruction pointer. Then, the program is moved. For example, ASLRE randomizes it, or another program takes its memory. Then, the original program resumes and executes call get system time precise as file time.
Okay, so the whole thing runs off the assumption that the position won't change even though the CPU is position independent, and then they make the convention, set up So you write code that is position dependent, even though the whole thing should be written for a position independent CPU, because that would extend the features, the functionality, and everything of the CPU. But instead, we're all writing 64-bit code following a convention that makes everything position dependent, just like it's 32-bit programming, but we don't even notice it because of how it's set up. So I'm gonna ask chat about this, and I'm gonna like try to make progress because I finally have everything figured out and a whole bunch of other stuff, whatever.
If the position is not moved, is it position independent?
And it says yes. As long as you don't move the position, it is still position independent. It's just dependent on the position that is not moved. I rest my case.
One, 7 properties of the native error prototype objects. Each native error prototype object is an error object. It says error. The value of the internal property of each native error prototype object is the standard built-in error prototype object. 15114511 8 native error prototype constructor. The initial value of the constructor property of the prototype for a given native error of the prototype for a given native error constructor is theta. If error constructor function itself 15117 9 native error prototype 9 native error prototype The initial value of the name property of the prototype for a given native error constructor is the name of the constructor, the name used instead of native error. 5 1 1 7 1 0 native error prototype message. The initial value of the message property of the prototype for a given native error constructor is the empty string. Note the prototypes for the native error constructors do not themselves provide a toString function, but instances of errors will inherit it from the error prototype object. 5.1.1.7.1.1 Properties of native error instances. Native error instances inherit properties from their native error prototype object, and their internal property value is error. Native error instances have no special properties. 15.12 The JSON object. The JSON object is a single object that contains two functions, parse and stringify, that are used to parse and construct JSON texts. The JSON data interchange format is described in RFC 4627, http://www.ietf.org/RFC/RFC4627.txt. The JSON interchange format used in this specification is exactly that described by RFC 4627 with two exceptions. The top-level JSON text production of the ECMAScript JSON grammar may consist of any JSON value rather than being restricted to being a JSON object or a JSON array as specified by RFC 4627. Conforming implementations of JSON parse and JSON stringify must support the exact interchange format described in this specification without any deletions or extensions to the format. This differs from RFC 4627, which permits a JSON parser to accept non-JSON forms and extensions. The value of the internal property of the JSON object is the standard built-in object prototype object. 1524. The value of the internal property of the JSON object is JSON. The value of the internal property of the JSON object is set to true. The JSON object does not have an internal property. It is not possible to use the JSON object as a constructor with the new operator. The JSON object does not have an internal property. It is not possible to invoke the JSON object as a function. 00. Copyright sign. ECMA International 2009. 1512. 1. The JSON grammar. JSON stringify produces a string that conforms to the following JSON grammar. JSON parse accepts a string that conforms to the JSON grammar. 5.1.2.1. 1. The JSON lexical grammar. JSON is similar to ECMAScript source text in that it consists of a sequence of characters conforming to the ULD of source character. The JSON lexical grammar defines the tokens that make up a JSON text similar to the manner that the ECMAScript lexical grammar defines the tokens of an ECMAScript source text. The JSON lexical grammar only recognizes the whitespace character specified by the production JSON whitespace. The JSON lexical grammar shares some productions with the ECMAScript lexical grammar. All non-terminal symbols of the grammar that do not begin with the characters JSON are defined by productions of the ECMAScript lexical grammar. Syntax: JSON whitespace, tab, CRLF, SP, JSON string, JSON string character sopt, JSON string characters, JSON string character, JSON string character sopt, JSON string character, source character but not double quote or backslash or U+0000 through U+001 F, JSON escape sequence, JSON escape sequence, JSON escape character, Unicode escape sequence, JSON escape character, 1 of BFNRT, JSON number, octodecimal integer literal, JSON fraction oct exponent part opt, JSON fraction, decimal digits, JSON null literal, JSON boolean literal, 5.1.2.1. To the JSON syntactic grammar. The JSON syntactic grammar defines a valid JSON text in terms of tokens defined by the JSON lexical grammar. The goal symbol of the grammar is JSON text. ECMA International 2009 201. Syntax: JSON text, JSON value, JSON value, JSON null literal, JSON boolean literal, JSON object, JSON array, JSON string, JSON number, JSON object, JSON member list, JSON member, JSON string, JSON value, JSON member list, JSON member, JSON member list, JSON member, JSON array, JSON element list, JSON element list, JSON value, JSON element list, JSON value, 5, 1, 2, 2 parse, text, reviver. The parse function parses a JSON text, a JSON formatted string, and produces an ECMAScript value. The JSON format is a restricted form of ECMAScript literal. JSON objects are realized as ECMAScript objects. JSON arrays are realized as ECMAScript arrays. JSON strings, numbers, booleans, and null are realized as ECMAScript strings, numbers, booleans, and null. JSON uses a more limited set of whitespace characters than whitespace and allows Unicode code points U+2028 and U+2029 to directly appear in JSON string literals without using an escape sequence. The process of parsing is similar to 1, 1, 1, 4 and 1, 1, 1. 5 is constrained by the JSON grammar. The optional reviver parameter is a function that takes two parameters, key and value. It can filter and transform the results. It is called with each of the key value pairs produced by the parse, and its return value is used instead of the original value. If it returns what it received, the structure is not modified. If it returns undefined, then the property is deleted from the result. Let JText be to string, text, parse JText using the grammars in 1.5, 1.2, 1. Throw a syntax error exception if JText did not conform to the JSON grammar for the goal symbol JSON text. Let unfiltered be the result of parsing and evaluating JText as if it was the source text of an ECMAScript program but using JSON string in place of string literal. Note that since JText conforms to the JSON grammar, this result will be either a primitive value or an object that is defined by either an array literal or an object literal. If is callable, reviver, is true, then 02 ECMA International 2009 AB. Let root be a new object created as if by the expression new object, where object is the standard built-in constructor with that name. Call the internal method of root with the empty string, the property descriptor, unfiltered, true, 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 and false as arguments. See return the result of calling the abstract operation walk, passing root and the empty string. The abstract operation walk is described below. Else a return unfiltered. The abstract operation walk is a recursive abstract operation that takes two parameters, a holder object and the string name of a property in that object. Walk uses the value of reviver that was originally passed to the above parse function. Let val be the result of calling the. If val is an object, then if the internal property of val is array, I set it to 0, 2. Let len be the result of calling the 3. Repeat while I. Len. Let new element be the result of calling the abstract operation walk, passing val into string I. If new element is undefined, then I call the internal method of val with to string I. And falses arguments 3. Else I call the internal method of val with arguments to string I. The property descriptor new element true, 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 and false. Add one toy be else. I let keys be an internal list of string values consisting of the names of all the own properties of val whose attribute is true. The ordering of the strings should be the same as that used by the object key standard built-in function. 2. For each string p in keys do, let new element be the result of calling the abstract operation walk, passing val and p. If new element is undefined, then I call the internal method of val with p and false as arguments. Else I call the internal method of val with arguments p. The property descriptor new element true, enumerable, true, true, and false. Return the result of calling the internal method of reviver passing holder as the this value and with an argument list consisting of name and val. It is not permitted for a conforming implementation of JSON parse to extend the JSON grammars. If an implementation wishes to support a modified or extended JSON interchange format, it must do so by defining a different parse function. Note in the case where there are duplicate name strings within an object, lexically preceding values for the same key shall be overwritten. 5, 1, 2, 3 string if I, value, replacer, space. The string if I function returns a string in JSON format representing an ECMAScript value. It can take 3 parameters. The first parameter is required. The value parameter is an ECMAScript value, which is usually an object or array, although it can also be a string, boolean, number or null. The optional replacer parameter is either a function that alters the way objects and arrays are stringified, or an array of strings and numbers that acts as a whitelist for selecting the object properties that will be stringified. The optional space parameter is a string or number that allows the result to have white space injected into it to improve human readability. ECMA International 2009 203. These are the steps in stringifying an object. Let stack be an empty list. Let indent be the empty string. Let property list and replacer function be undefined. If type replacer is object, then if is callable. Replacer is true. Then I let replacer function be replacer. Else if the internal property of replacer is array, then I let property list be an empty internal list. 2. For each value v of a property of replacer that has an array index property name, the properties are enumerated in the ascending array index order of their names. Let item be undefined. If type v is string, then let item be v. Else if type v is number, then let item be to string v. Else if type v is object, then if the internal property of v is string or number, then let item be to string v. If item is not undefined and item is not currently an element of property list, then append item to the end of property list. If type space is object, then if the internal property of space is number, then I let space be to number space. Else if the internal property of space is string, then I let space be to string space. If type space is number, I let space be min 10 to integer space be set gap to a string containing space characters. This will be the empty string if space is less than 1. Else if type space is string, if the number of characters in space is 10 or less, set gap to space, otherwise set gap to a string consisting of the first 10 characters of space. Else as set gap to the empty string. Let wrapper be a new object created as if by the expression new object, where object is the standard built-in constructor with that name. 0. Call the internal method of wrapper with arguments the empty string, the property descriptor, value, true, 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 and false. 1. Return the result of calling the abstract operation str with the empty string and wrapper. The abstract operation str, key holder, has access to replace a function from the invocation of the stringify method. Its algorithm is as follows. Let value be the result of calling the if type value is object, then a let to JSON be the result of calling the if is callable to JSON is true. I let value be the result of calling the internal method of to JSON passing value as the this value in with an argument list consisting of key. If replacer function is not undefined, then a let value be the result of calling the internal method of replacer function passing holder as the this value in with an argument list consisting of key and value. 4. If type value is object, then 04 ABC. If the internal property of value is number, then else I let value be to number value. If the internal property of value is string, then let value be to string value. If the internal property of value is boolean, then let value be the value of the internal property of value. ECMA International 2009. 5. If a value is null, then return null. If a value is true, then return true. If a value is false, then return false. If type value is string, then return the result of calling the abstract operation quote with argument value. If type value is number, if value is finite, then return to string value. Else return null. 0. If type value.
This is so frustrating. This stupid program.
Is array, then
Stupid 64-bit assembly is bullshit. It's stupid.
else return the result of calling the
We do not have 64-bit computers. It's a fucking joke.
The abstract operation quote value wraps the string value in double quotes and escapes characters within it. Let product be the double quote character for each character.
In context, it's 64-bit. Technically, not even close.
2. 3. CLSI 2.
It's why they only use 42 bits or 46. They don't use all 64 bits for addresses.
Stack indent.
Not because, oh, you would never have that much RAM anyways. It's because the hardware is so limited that they can't have a couple more tables because they make it so dramatically slow that they limit the address size and only use like 6 bytes of the 8 that make up a full address.
Of strings consisting of the names of
It has nothing to do with, oh, you never have that much RAM in the first place. It's because it can't do it.
by the object key standard built-in function. Let partial be an empty list for each element.
So,
str with arguments p and value. B if strp is not undefined. I let
right here, let's say I'm doing absolute positions, whatever. If I do move, relative, rbx,
9205. Let
cx, whatever.
in the backslash character.
Because if rbx was a non-absolute address,
Or tab. Let product be the concatenation of product in the backslash character. Let abrev be the character corresponding to the value of c as follows.
this makes no sense.
Let product be the
What even the actual fuck?
having a code unit value less than the space character. Let product be the concatenation of product in the backslash character. Let product be the
It's literally set up, it's rigged to work a certain way, and you can't even set it up a different way because how it's set up. This is bullshit. This is stupid as fuck.
double quote character.
For fuck's sake.
The concatenation of member and the space character. Let member be the concatenation of member and strp. V append member to partial. If partial is empty, then a let final be 10. Else, if gap is the empty string, I let properties be a string formed by concatenating all the elements strings of partial with each.
When I do move, relative, rbx, right?
Before the first string.
I'm saying right because I literally say it. Right here it says it. Move relative, rbx, whatever.
And be else, I let separator be the result.
It's like a fact. It's not even like, right? It's like literally, I said it right here. So I'm gonna hit save.
Properties be a string formed by concatenating all the elements strings.
And I click up to build.
Adjacent pair
Then I click right.
with separator. The separator string is not inserted either before the first string or after the last string. 3. Let final be the result of concatenating the line feed character, indent, properties, the line feed character.
And it says error, warning, indirect address displacements cannot be RIP, relative.
Return final. The abstract operation J.
Okay, so does that mean
It has
the program is position independent
place of the
only on boot or when the program starts? Then it becomes position dependent, which is RIP, relative.
from the string.
Is that what it means?
Stringified as an open left bracket, elements separated by comma, and a closing right bracket. If stack contains value, then throw a type error exception because the structure E is cyclical. Append value to stack. Let step back be indent. Let indent be the concatenation.
Because it forces the address when it's in register to be RIP, relative.
Let strp be the result of calling the abstract operation str with arguments to string, int x, and value.
It's like the illusion of choice when it's all set up one way.
Is the empty string I to be else I 2 3 11. Remove the last. Let properties be a string formed by concatenating all the elements strings of partial with each adjacent pair of strings separated with the comma character. A comma is not inserted either before the first string or after the last string. Let final be the result of concatenating properties, and let separator be the result of concatenating the comma character, the line feed character, and indent. Let properties be a string formed by concatenating all the elements strings of partial with each adjacent pair of strings separated with separator. The separator string is not inserted either before the first string or after the last string. Let final be the result of concatenating the line feed character, indent, properties.
What's this? Okay. That's new.
Gap is not the empty string. 12. Let indent be step back 13. Return final. Note 1 JSON structures are allowed to be nested to any depth, but they must be acyclic. If a value is or contain.
Is this even ChatGPT? Did they just change their layout from like an hour ago?
Note 2, comma, equals 0 equals a. My text equals JSON string if I.
Man, they're changing this website on the hourly.
But in JSON text is the string null. The undefined value is not rendered.
They won't fix ChatGPT though, because it sucks. They'll make it look better.
JSON.
Guess that's all they can do.
3. Characters are replaced with escape sequences UHH, or with the shorter forms B, backspace, F, form feed, N, new line, R, carriage return, T, tab. String values are wrapped in double quotes. The characters are escaped with prefixes. Control. Note 4 finite numbers are stringified as if by calling to string, number. Nan and infinity regardless of sign are represented as the string null. Note 5 values that do not have a JSON representation, such as undefined and functions, do not produce a string. Instead they produce the undefined value. In arrays these values are represented as the string null. In objects an unrepresentable value causes the property to be excluded from stringification. Note 6 an object is rendered as an opening left brace F, followed by 0 or more properties, separated with commas, closed with a right brace. A property is a quoted string representing the key or property name, a colon, and then the stringified property value. An array is rendered as an opening left bracket followed by 0 or more values, separated with commas, closed with a right bracket. 6 errors. An implementation must report most errors at the time the relevant ECMAScript language construct is evaluated. An early error is an error that can be detected and reported prior to the evaluation of any construct in the program containing the error. An implementation must report early errors in a program prior to the first evaluation of that program. Early errors in eval code are reported at the time eval is called but prior to evaluation of any construct within the eval code. All errors that are not early errors are runtime errors. An implementation must treat any instance of the following kinds of errors as an early error. Any syntax error attempts to define an object literal that has multiple get property assignments with the same name or multiple set property assignments with the same name. Attempts to define an object literal that has both a data property assignment and a get or set property assignment with the same name. Errors in regular expression literals that are not implementation defined syntax extensions. Attempts in strict mode code to define an object literal that has multiple data property assignments with the same name. The occurrence of a with statement in strict mode code. The occurrence of an identifier value appearing more than once within a formal parameter list of an individual strict mode function declaration or function expression. Improper uses of return, break, and continue. Attempts to call put value on any value for which an early determination can be made that the value is not a reference. For example, executing the assignment statement 3 equals 4. ECMA International 2009-207. An implementation shall not treat other kinds of errors as early errors even if the compiler can prove that a construct cannot execute without error under any circumstances. An implementation may issue an early warning in such a case, but it should not report the error until the relevant construct is actually executed. An implementation shall report all errors as specified, except for the following. 08. ECMA International 2009. Bullet. An implementation may extend program syntax and regular expression pattern or flag syntax. To permit this, all operations, such as calling eval, using a regular expression literal, or using the function or regexp constructor, that are allowed to throw syntax error are permitted to exhibit implementation defined behavior instead of throwing syntax error when they encounter an implementation-defined extension to the program's syntax or regular expression pattern or flag syntax. An implementation may provide additional types, values, objects, properties, and functions beyond those described in this specification. This may cause constructs, such as looking up a variable in the global scope, to have implementation-defined behavior instead of throwing an error, such as reference error. An implementation may define behavior rather than throwing range error for to fixed, to exponential, and to precision when the fraction digits or precision argument is outside the specified range. One lexical grammar source character. Any Unicode code unit. Input element div. White space. Line terminator comment token div punctuator. Input element regexp. White space. Line terminator comment token regular expression literal. White space. Tab. VT. FF. SP. NBSP. BOM. USP. Line terminator. LF. CRLS. PS. Line terminator sequence. LF. CR look ahead. LF. LS. PS. CRLF. Comment. Multi-line comment. Single line comment. C clause 6, C clause 7, C clause 7, C7.2, C7.3, C7.3, C7.4. ECMA International 2009. 09. Annex A. Informative. Grammar summary. Multi-line comment. Multi-line comment charsopt. Multi-line comment chars. Multi-line not asterisk char. Multi-line comment charsopt. Post asterisk comment charsopt. Post asterisk comment chars. Capital M U L T I. Capital L I N E. Capital N O T. Capital F O R W A R D. Capital S L A S H. Capital O R. Capital A S T E. Multi-line comment charsopt. Post asterisk comment charsopt. Multi-line not asterisk char. Source character but not asterisk. Capital M U L T I. Capital L I N E. Capital N O T. Capital F O R W A R D. Capital S.
Oh my god, this is so confusing.
Mov. Label. Ex could be either absolute or relative, depending on the assembler and platform. In x86-64, by default, this is assembled as RIP relative addressing, that is, Mov. Label. Ex could be either absolute or relative, depending on the assembler and platform. In x86-64, by default, this is assembled as RIP relative addressing, that is, relative to the instruction pointer.
But it's not. It's relative to the program position, which is not the instruction pointer. The instruction pointer is the instruction position that it's executing. It's not the fucking position of the fucking fuck. Exactly. It's literally still 32-bit, for fuck's sake.
In 32-bit x86, this often becomes an absolute address direct memory reference.
Literally, this is not a 64-bit processor. Fuck, this is dumb. I'm gonna calm down.
Mov. Rel label. Ex. The rel prefix explicitly forces RIP relative addressing in x86-64. This means the address is computed as relative to the RIP instruction pointer, not absolute.
64-bit is a fucking joke.
Mov, label, ex, assembler default behavior, usually RIP relative in x86-64, absolute in x86, 32-bit.
RIP relative in x86, absolute in x86 32-bit. So that means RIP relative means absolute, which means 32-bit, which means move label is like a 32-bit instruction for a move operation. And it also means that since this is RIP relative, when it's a register, it says your instruction move relative RBX is not supported in x86 underscore 64. I now understand why it's called x86 underscore 64. That is hilarious. Oh my god, this is stupid. Intel, why would they copy AMD's design? This is ridiculous. This is dumb as fuck. So it's not supported. It's not supported because relative RBX is not valid. Because relative addressing, typically used for RIP relative addressing, like RIP plus offset. So that means that this is RIP relative addressing RBX. So that means that it's an invalid addressing mode to have relative and then a register. Which means that when using a register here instead of a label, it's not possible to have a register here. Because a register can't have relative in front of it. Because the CPU doesn't support it. Which means x86 underscore 64 supports a label that's relative, but it doesn't support a register because a register only supports a label or a register. And a register can only be in this mode. A register can't be relative. And since a register can only be in this mode, it means it's RIP relative in x86 underscore 64, absolute in x86 32-bit. So the 64-bit CPU runs basically when it's a register used for an operation. It's basically 32-bit mode, which is not position independent. Only if it's a label. And that's pointless. I need to get some water. This just keeps getting worse. You literally don't even get the features of x86 underscore 64 CPU. There is no feature to the CPU. It's literally whatever. I'm gonna get some water. This is some stupid ass shit. I'm so annoyed. I had like a bunch of ideas to try with 64-bit, and I can't do over half of them. I'm kind of pissed. I like thought up a whole ton of shit, and it's not even supported because it's not even a full 64-bit processor. Fuck. Everything sucks. I don't know. I'll BRB. Some freaking water. the address is used to access the memory. And I can't compute things to access things in memory if I'm not sure of what the address relates to. And the whole relative thing seems like a fucking joke. Because relative to what? For fuck's sake, this is so annoying. So I am going to ask chatbot, what holds the position of the program? I'm not talking, it keeps talking about the register pointer. What I want to know is the position, the frame of the program. The pointer that points to the instruction is completely separate. Or is it? Is it really? Instead, I'm going to set the program to position absolute. And I'm going to see what happens. It seems like it's a trick because they say that the address here doesn't have the position offset applied to it until you use rel. So like an instruction like Lee. But if you do something like move, is that what's happening? This is the most annoying shit to figure out, for fuck's sake. I'm just gonna set position absolute and see what happens. Later on, I'm gonna have to set up jump tables and stuff. I'm gonna have to jump to code that's compiled at runtime. And I have to have this shit figured out. I can't just set up jump tables if I don't know 1,000,000,000,000% what address is where and what's applied to what and what's offset from what. I need to know. So I need to fucking know. That's all I want to figure out. I don't even want. I need to figure out. I need it so I can write the fucking engine. I still have to convert it. And I'm sitting here trying to figure out what the fuck chatbot's saying, because everything is both true and false, but not both. And it's so frustrating. And the documentation makes no sense. Like the wording in this documentation, it's a fucking joke. The whole relative absolute is literally only for threading. And then they try to like not use registers. You know what? It doesn't matter. First, I'm gonna try this. See what happens. It should throw an error. And it didn't. So let's see what happens when I run it. Okay, this is a large address. Aware? No. So what the fuck does large address where mean? So it means that they force you to be in fucking position dependent code. None of this is position independent. None of it. This is so fucking dumb. That pisses me off. I was actually planning to write position independent code, but it's not impossible. Because the CPU doesn't fucking support it, unless it's a variable. But you can't make everything a fucking variable. Not even a variable, it's a label. And it adds to the label, and the label can't be changed because it has to be compiled first. So it becomes position dependent. This is a joke. This has to be a joke. But it's not. This is so dumb.
When I use default amps, the visual compiler, when I link it says error invalid without large address. No? Thanks for the extra detail. You're using the Visual C++ toolchain, MSVC, and you're seeing an error like. You are instructing the assembler to treat symbol references as absolute addresses, that is, not RIP relative, which is the default in x86-64.
That means that it is an absolute address then. What the fuck? This terminology is not even funny. This is a fucking joke. This is stupid as fuck. You see, here's the problem. It's not a 64-bit processor.
You can't encode a full 64-bit absolute address in a single instruction like mov abs address ex, because there's no encoding for a full 64-bit displacement in the instruction.
What the fuck? Alright, I'm gonna take another break. I'm gonna go find a corner to go cry into. But I'm not gonna curl up and die. No, I'm gonna come back with a vengeance. This is wasting so much of my time. Anyways, I'll BRB. Whoever designed, you know what? Whatever. This just fuels my fire. My fire is hot as fuck. My pants are almost on fire. That freaking pizza. Pretzel crust, Little Caesar pizza. It's killing my stomach.
Terminator here, plus left-hand side expression, no line terminator here, unary expression, postfix expression, delete unary expression, void unary expression, type off unary expression, plus unary expression plus unary expression, unary expression, unary expression, unary expression, multiplicative expression, unary expression, multiplicative expression, unary expression, multiplicative expression, unary expression, multiplicative expression, percent, unary expression, C11.2, 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 C11.3, C11.4, ECMA International 2009, 17, C11.5, additive expression, multiplicative expression, additive expression plus multiplicative expression, additive expression, multiplicative expression, shift expression, additive expression, shift expression, additive expression, shift expression, additive expression, shift expression, additive expression, relational expression, shift expression, relational expression, shift expression, relational expression, shift expression, relational expression, equals shift expression, relational expression, equals shift expression, relational expression, instance of shift expression, relational expression, in shift expression, relational expression, known, 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 equals shift expression, relational expression, known, equals shift expression, relational expression, known, instance of shift expression, equality expression, relational expression, equality expression, equals 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 relational expression, equality expression, known, relational expression, known, equality expression, known, equals 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 relational expression, known, bitwise and expression, equality expression, bitwise and expression, and equality expression, bitwise and expression, known, equality expression, known, bitwise and expression, known, and equality expression, known, C11.6, C11.7, C11.8, C11.8, C11.9, C11.9, C11.10, C11.10, 18, ECMA International 2009, bitwise or expression, bitwise and expression, bitwise or expression, bitwise and expression, bitwise or expression, known, bitwise and expression, known, bitwise or expression, known, bitwise and expression, known, bitwise or expression, 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 known, bitwise or expression, known, bitwise or expression, known, bitwise or expression, known, logical and expression, bitwise or expression, logical and expression, and bitwise or expression, logical and expression, known, bitwise or expression, known, logical and expression, known, and bitwise or expression, known, logical or expression, logical and expression, logical or expression, logical and expression, logical or expression known, logical and expression known, logical or expression known, logical and expression known, conduit, ional expression, logical or expression, logical or expression, assignment expression, assignment expression, conditional expression known, logical or expression known, logical or expression known, assignment expression known, assignment expression known, assignment expression, conditional expression, left-hand side expression, assignment operator, assignment expression known, conditional expression known, left-hand side expression, assignment operator, assignment expression known, assignment operator, 1 of C11.10, 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 C11.11, 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 C11.12, C11.12, C11.13, 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 equals percent equals plus equals and equals. ECMA International 2009 219. Expression, assignment expression, assignment expression, known, assignment expression known, assignment expression known. A. 4 statements. Statement, block, C11.14, C11.14, C clause 12. Variable statement, empty statement, expression statement, if statement, iteration statement, continue statement, break statement, return statement, with statement, labeled statement, switch statement, throw statement, try statement, debugger statement, statement list, opt, statement list, statement list, statement, variable statement, our variable declaration list, variable declaration list, variable declaration list, variable declaration list known, variable declaration known, variable declaration list known, variable declaration known, variable declaration, identifier initializer opt, variable declaration known, identifier initializer known, opt, block, C12.1, C12.1, C12.2, 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 20. ECMA International 2009. Initializer, assignment expression, initializer known, assignment expression known, empty statement, expression statement, look ahead, function, expression, if statement, if, expression statement, else statement, if, expression statement, iteration statement, do statement, while, expression, statement, for, expression known, opt, expression not statement, for, var variable declaration list known, expression not statement, for, left-hand side expression in expression statement, for, var variable declaration known in expression statement, continue statement, continue, no line terminator here, identifier opt, break statement, break, no line terminator here, identifier opt, return statement, return, no line terminator here, expression opt, with statement, with, expression statement, switch statement, switch, expression, case block, case clauses opt, default clause, case clauses opt, case clauses, case clause, C12.2, C12.2, C12.3, C12.4, C12.5, C12.6, C12.7, C12.8, C12.9, C12.10, C12.11, C12.11, C12.11. ECMA International 2009. 21. Case clause, case expression, statement list opt, C12.11, C12.11, C12.12s, E12.13, C12.14, 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 C12.15, C clause 13, C clause 13, C clause 13, C clause 13, C clause 14, C clause 14, default clause, default, statement list opt, labeled statement, identifier, statement, throw, no line terminator here, try statement, try block catch finally, catch, identifier, block, finally block, debugger statement, debugger, expression, A, 5 functions and programs, function declaration, function identifier, formal parameter list opt, function body, function expression, function identifier opt, formal parameter list opt, function body, formal parameter list, identifier, formal parameter list, identifier function body, source elements opt program, source elements opt, source elements, source element, source elements, source element, 22, ECMA International 2009, source element, statement, function declaration, A, 6 universal resource identifier character classes URI character sopt URI characters URI character sopt URI character URI reserved URI unescaped URI escaped URI reserved 1 of at and equals plus $sign URI unescaped URI alpha decimal digit URI mark URI escaped hex digit URI alpha 1 of abdefkijacalnopquestavwexes URI mark 1 of comma A 7 regular expressions pattern disjunction alternative disjunction empty alternative term C15 1 3 C15 10 1 C15 10 1 C15 10 1 ECMA International 2009 23 C clause 14 C15 1 3 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 term assertion atom quantifier assertion B capital B equals disjunction C15 10 1 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 quantifier prefix decimal digits atom pattern character atom escape character class disjunction pattern character source character but not any of $sign plus atom escape decimal escape character class escape character escape control escape C control letter hex escape sequence Unicode escape sequence identity escape control escape 1 of FNRTV 24 ECMA International 2009 control letter 1 of C15 10 1 abdefkijacalnopquestavwexes identity escape source character but not identifier part ZWNJ decimal escape decimal integer literal look ahead decimal digit character class escape 1 of DT's SWW character class look ahead class ranges empty non-empty class ranges class atom non-empty class ranges no dash class atom class ranges non-empty class ranges no dash class atom capital C las atom no dash non-empty class ranges no dash class atom no dash class atom class ranges class atom no dash source character but not only alpha or class escape decimal escape B character escape character class escape C15 10 1 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 ECMA International 2009 25 A 8 JSON A 8.1 JSON lexical grammar JSON white space tab CRLF SP JSON string character sopt JSON string characters JSON string character JSON string character sopt C15 12 1 1 C15 12 1 1 C15 1 2 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 1 1 C15.
Okay, I'm just gonna say it. Santa Claus isn't real. Okay? Is Santa Claus real? Let's ask Google.
Is Santa Claus real?
Google says,
No, the Santa Claus we know from stories and traditions is not a real person in the literal sense.
now I'm going to ask Google, is a 64-bit processor real? And Google says,
Yes, 64-bit processors are very real and are widely used in modern computing. They are the standard for most personal computers and servers, and are also used in various other devices, including video game consoles. Modern, 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 modern.
Santa Claus is not real. 64-bit processors are not real. I'm just gonna get to work. I was gonna pull up a second ago where it said that 64-bit processors are limited to 2 gig address space because it can't hold a 64-bit immediate address, but I just closed the tab. And it's not worth asking chatbot again. So if you rewind a couple seconds ago, I was going to have it read that it is not a 64-bit processor. And the only reason that it appears to relatively be a 64-bit processor is when you follow the convention. So I will be following the convention. I finally have understanding of how it works. So at least I know how it works internally. And when I'm working with the addresses, I finally have a total, full understanding of what's going on. I really wish chatbot would have told me that 2 days ago, 3 days ago, 4 days ago, but instead it took that long to ask it a very specific question that I asked a couple minutes ago. But now I finally have my head around the whole thing. I know how it works below that level, but not at this level. At this level, at OS level, this is a shit show. 64-bit should only be used for accessing memory, and then the CPU should go back to 16-bit real mode, and there's another mode on the processor. I won't, whatever. This is a joke. Windows is a joke. A total joke. This is ridiculous. This is all fake as fuck. So I'm gonna write a bunch of fake code for a fake operating system to get real performance. For a real JavaScript engine. So even though everything is fake as fuck, I can still be real. And I'm really gonna have the fastest shit. I gotta restart this computer because it has a memory leak or something. Something's fucked up with the sound. So I'm gonna restart this computer. I'm done messing with addresses. I finally put it all together. So at least now I know as I'm working, I won't make a bug or like access the wrong address because I was like worried. I was like, well, if I like make a relative and then I add this, add that, if these are both relative, is that gonna do this? But now I got it, so I'm good. And I'm gonna leave this at the top. Because even without it, it doesn't make a difference. There's no point. It's not a 64-bit processor. So I'm gonna restart the Mac. There's a leak or something with it. I'm gonna get to programming. I already have a backup. Right here, I think it prints 35 or was. So I'm going to call whatever function to get the stupid time, because time itself is changing. Like 64-bit computers are not actually 64-bit. But they say it's 64-bit. There's less time in a day because the sun is moving faster. But they don't make it public knowledge. At least. They acknowledge. By they, I mean, I don't know, they. I guess I actually mean they this time. Well, Google, I guess that's what I mean by they. At least Google acknowledges that Santa Claus is not real. So, there is hope. If Google and say Santa Claus is not real, there's hope that eventually they'll say a 64-bit processor isn't actually a 64-bit processor, but it is a 32-bit processor. And a trick to access memory within 2 gigabytes from a register. I won't get into it. It's not a 64-bit processor. A 64-bit processor is just as 64-bit as Santa Claus is a real person. Which is, you get my point. If you don't get the point, you're a little dull, but that's okay. Not everyone is the sharpest spoon in the knife drawer. There's a whole lot of spoons out there. A knife drawer full of spoons. Have you ever tried to cut something with a spoon? Exactly. That's my point. I have to stop stalling. I'm gonna try to get something done.
Perform. Property definition evaluation of property definition with argument object. Return unused. ECMA International 2024 251. Property definition. Assignment expression. Let x per value be. Evaluation of assignment expression. Let from value be. Get value, x per value. Let excluded names be a new empty list. Perform. Copy data properties. Object. From value. Excluded names. Return unused. Property definition. Identifier reference. Let prop name be string value of identifier reference. Let x per value be. Evaluation of identifier reference. Let prop value be. Get value, x per value. Assert. Object is an ordinary, extensible object with no non-configurable properties. Perform. Create data property or throw. Object. Prop name. Prop value. Return unused. Property definition. Property name. Assignment expression. Let prop key be. Evaluation of property name. If this property definition is contained within a script that is being evaluated for JSON parse, see step 7 of JSON parse, then a let is proto set to be false. Else if prop key is proto and is computed property key of property name is false, then a let is proto set to be true. Else a let is proto set to be false. If is anonymous function definition, assignment expression, is true and is proto-setter as false, then in let prop value be. Named evaluation of assignment expression with argument prop key. Else a let x per value ref be. Evaluation of assignment expression be let prop value be. Get value x per value ref. If is proto-setter is true, then if prop value is an object or prop value is null, then I perform object prop value be return unused. Assert. Object is an ordinary, extensible object with no non-configurable properties. Perform. Create data property or throw. Object. Prop key. Prop value 0. Return unused. Property definition. Method definition. Perform. Method definition evaluation of method definition with arguments object and true. Return unused. 3. 2. 6 function defining expressions. See 15.2 for primary expression. Function expression, see 15.5 for primary expression. Generator expression, see 15.7 for primary expression. Class expression, see 15.8 for primary expression. Async function expression, see 15.6 for primary expression. Async generator expression, 52. Copyright sign, ECMA International 2024, 132. 7 regular expression literals syntax, C12, 9, 5, 3, 2, 7. 1 static semantics, early errors, primary expression, regular expression literal. It is a syntax error if capital I, S, capital V, A, L, I, D, capital R, E, G, U, L, A, R, capital E, X, P, R, E, S, S, I, O, N, capital L, I, T, E, R, A, regular expression literal, is false. 3, 2, 7, 2 static semanti, CS, capital I, S, capital V, A, L, I, D, capital R, E, G, U, L, A, R, capital E, X, P, R, E, S, S, I, O, N, capital L, I, T, E, R, A, literal. The abstract operation, capital I, S, capital V, A, L, I, D, capital R, E, G, U, L, A, R, capital E, X, P, R, E, S, S, I, O, N, capital L, I, T, E, R, A, takes argument literal, a regular expression literal parse node, and returns a boolean. It determines if its argument is a valid regular expression literal. It performs the following steps when called. Let flags be flag text of literal. If flags contains any code points other than D, G, I, M, S, U, V, or Y, or if flags contains any code point more than once, return false. If flags contains U, let U be true, else let U be false. If flags contains V, let V be true, else let V be false. Let pattern text be body text of literal. If U is false and V is false, then let string value be code points to string pattern text. B set pattern text to the sequence of code points resulting from interpreting each of the 16-bit elements of string value as a Unicode BMP code point. UTF-16 decoding is not applied to the elements. Let parse result be parse pattern text U, V. If parse result is a parse node, return true, else return false. 3, 2, 7, 3 runtime semantics. Evaluation primary expression, regular expression literal. Let pattern be code points to string, body text of regular expression literal. Let flags be code points to string, flag text of regular expression literal. Return regexp create pattern flags. 3, 2, 8 template literals syntax. Template literal yield await tagged no substitution template. Substitution template yield await tagged. Substitution template yield await tagged. Template head expression plus in yield await. Template spans yield await tagged. Template spans yield await tagged. Template tail. Template middle list yield await tagged. Template tail. ECMA International 2024 253. Template middle list yield await tagged. Template middle expression plus in yield await. Template middle list yield await tagged. Template middle expression plus in yield await. 3, 2, 8, 1 static semantics. Early errors. Template literal yield await tagged no substitution template. It is a syntax error if the tagged parameter was not set and no substitution template contains not escape sequence. Template literal yield await tagged substitution template yield await tagged. It is a syntax error if the number of elements in the result of template strings of template literal with argument force is greater than or equal to 232. Substitution template yield await tagged template head expression plus in yield await. Template spans yield await tagged. It is a syntax error if the tagged parameter was not set and template head contains not escape sequence. Template spans yield await tagged template tail. It is a syntax error if the tagged parameter was not set and template tail contains not escape sequence. Template middle list yield await tagged template middle expression plus in yield await. Template middle list yield await tagged template middle expression plus in yield await. Capital I T is a syntax error if the tagged parameter was not set and template middle contains not escape sequence. 3, 2, 8 to static semantics. Template strings. The syntax directed operation template strings takes argument draw, a boolean, and returns a list of either strings or undefined. It is defined piecewise over the following productions. Template literal, no substitution template. Return template string, no substitution template, raw. Substitution template, template head expression template spans. Let head be template string, template head, raw. Let tail be template strings of template spans with argument draw. Return the list concatenation of head and tail. Template spans, template tail. Return template string, template tail, raw. Template spans, template middle list template tail. Let middle be template strings of template middle list with argument draw. Let tail be template string, template tail, raw. Return the list concatenation of middle and tail. 54. ECMA International 2024. Template middle list. Template middle expression 1. Return template string. Template middle. Raw. Template middle list. Template middle list template middle expression. Let front be template strings of template middle list with argument draw. Let last be template string. Template middle. raw. Return the list concatenation of front and last. 3, 2, 8, 3 static semantics, template string, template token, raw. The abstract operation template string takes arguments template token, a no substitution template parse node, a template head parse node, a template middle parse node, or a template tail parse node, and raw, a boolean, and returns a string or undefined. It performs the following steps when called. If raw is true, then a let string be the TRV of template token, else a let string be the TV of template token. Return string. 3, 2, 8, 4 get template object, template literal. The abstract operation get template object takes argument template literal, a parse node, and returns an array. It performs the following steps when called. Let realm be the current realm record. Let template registry be realm. For each element of template registry, do if E is the same parse node as template literal, then I return E. Let raw strings be template strings of template literal with argument true. Assert raw strings is a list of strings. Let cook strings be template strings of template literal with argument false. Let count be the number of elements in the list cook strings. Assert count 232 1. Let template be array create count 0. Let raw obj be array create count 1. Let index be 0 2. Repeat while index count a let prop be to string index b. Let cooked value be cook strings index c. Perform define property or throw template prop property descriptor cooked value writable false true false dl. Let raw value be the string value raw strings index e. Perform define property or throw raw obj prop property descriptor raw value false true false. F set index to index plus 1 3. Perform set integrity level raw obj frozen 4. Perform define property or throw template raw property descriptor raw obj false enumerable false false 5. Perform set integrity level template frozen 6. Append the record template literal template to realm 7. Return template. Note this operation returns undefined if raw is false and template token contains a not escape sequence. In all other cases, it returns a string. ECMA International 2024 255. Note 1. The creation of a template object cannot result in an abrupt completion. Note 2. Each template literal in the program code of a realm is associated with a unique template object that is used in the evaluation of tagged templates. 1 3 2 8 6. The template objects are frozen and the same template object is used each time a specific tagged template is evaluated. Whether template objects are created lazily upon first evaluation of the template literal or eagerly prior to first evaluation is an implementation choice that is not observable to ECMAScript code. 1 3 2 8 5. Runtime semantics. Substitution evaluation. The syntax-directed operation substitution evaluation takes no arguments and returns either a normal completion containing a list of ECMAScript language values or an abrupt completion. It is defined piecewise over the following productions. Template spans. Template tail. Return a new empty list. Template spans. Template middle list. Template tail. Return. Substitution evaluation of template middle list. Template middle list. Template middle expression. Let subref be evaluation of expression. Let sub be get value subref. Return sub. Template middle list. Template middle list. Template middle expression. Let preceding be substitution evaluation of template middle list. Let next ref be evaluation of expression. Let next be get value next ref. Return the list concatenation of preceding and next. 3 2 8 6. Runtime semantics. Evaluation. Template literal. No substitution template. Return the TV of no substitution template as defined in 1 2 9 6. Substitution template. Template head expression. Template spans. Let head be the TV of template head as defined in 1 2 9 6. Let subref be evaluation of expression. Let sub be get value subref, let middle be. To string, sub, let tail be. Evaluation of template spans. Return the string concatenation of head, middle, and tail. 56. ECMA International 2024. Note 3 future editions of this specification may define additional non-enumerable properties of template objects. Note 1 the string conversion semantics applied to the expression value alike street. Ring prototype concat rather than the plus operator. Template spans. Template tail. Return the TV of template tail as defined in 1, 2, 9, 6. Template spans. Template middle list template tail. Let head be. Evaluation of template middle list. Let tail be the TV of template tail as defined in 1, 2, 9, 6. Return the string concatenation of head and tail. Template middle list. Template middle expression. Let head be the TV of template middle as defined in 1, 2, 9, 6. Let subref be. Evaluation of expression. Let sub be. Get value. Subref. Let middle be. To string. Sub. Return the string concatenation of head and middle. Template middle list. Template middle list. Template middle expression. Let rest be. Evaluation of template middle list. Let middle be the TV of template middle as defined in 1, 2, 9, 6. Let subref be. Evaluation of expression. Let sub be. Get value. Subref. Let last be. To string. Sub. Return the string concatenation of rest, middle, and last. 3, 2, 9 the grouping operator. 3, 2, 9. 1 static semantics. Early errors. Primary expression. Capital C O V E R. Capital P A R E N T H E S I Z E D. Capital E X P R E S S I O N. Capital A N. Capital C O V E R. Capital P A R E N T H E S I Z E D. Capital E X P R E S S I O N. Capital A N. Must cover a parenthesized expression. 3, 2, 9. To runtime semantics. Evaluation. Primary expression. Capital C O V E R. Capital P A R E N T H E S I Z E D. Capital E X P R E S S I O N. Capital A N. Let expa be the parenthesized expression that is covered by capital C O V E R. Capital P A R E N T H E S I Z E D. Capital E X P R E S S I O N. Capital A N. Return. Evaluation of expa parenthesized expression. Expression. Return. Evaluation of expression. This may be of type reference. Note to the string conversion semantics applied to the expression value alike string prototype concat rather than the plus operator. Note 3 the string conversion semantics applied to the expression value alike string prototype concat rather than the plus operator. Note this algorithm does not apply get value to evaluation of expression. The principal motivation for this is so that operators such as delete and type off may be applied to parenthesized expressions. ECMA International 2024 257. 13.3 left-hand side expressions syntax. Member expression, yield, await. Primary expression yield await. Member expression yield await. Expression, plus in yield await. Member expression yield await. Identifier name member expression yield await. Template literal yield await. Plus tagged super property yield await. Meter property. New member expression yield await. Arguments yield await. Member expression yield await. Private identifier, super property, yield, await, super, expression, plus in yield await, super. Identifier name, meter property, new target, import meter new target, import meter, import meta, new expression, yield, await, member expression yield await, new expression yield await, call expression, yield, await, capital C, O, V, E, R, capital C, A, L, L, capital E, X, P, R, E, S, S, I, O, N, capital A, N, D, capital A, S, Y, N, C, capital A, R, R, yield await, super call yield await, import call yield await, call expression yield await, arguments yield await, call expression yield await, expression, plus in yield await, call expression yield await. Identifier name, call expression yield await, template literal yield await, plus tagged, call expression yield await. Private identifier, super call, yield, await, super arguments yield await, import call, yield, await, import, assignment expression, plus in yield await, arguments, yield, await, argument list yield await, argument list yield await. 58. ECMA International 2024. Argument list. Yield. Await. Assignment expression. Plus in yield await. Dart. Assignment expression. Plus in yield await. Argument list yield await. Assignment expression. Plus in yield await. Argument list yield await. Assignment expression. Plus in yield await. Optional expression. Yield. Await. Member expression yield await. Optional chain yield await. Call expression yield await. Optional chain yield await. Optional expression yield await. Optional chain yield await. Optional chain. Yield. Await. Arguments yield await. Expression. Plus in yield await. Identifier name. Template literal yield await. Plus tagged. Private identifier. Optional chain yield await. Arguments yield await. Optional chain yield await. Expression. Plus in yield await, optional chain yield await. Identifier name, optional chain yield await, template literal yield await, plus tagged, optional chain yield await. Private identifier, left-hand side expression, yield, await, new expression yield await, call expression yield await, optional expression yield await. Supplemental syntax, when processing an instance of the production, call expression, capital C, O, V, E, R, capital C, A, L, L, capital E, X, P, R, E, S, S, I, O, N, capital A, N, D, capital A, S, Y, N, C, capital A, R, R. The interpretation of capital C, O, V, E, R, capital C, A, L, L, capital E, X, P, R, E, S, S, I, O, N, capital A, N, D, capital A, S, Y, N, C, capital A, R, R, is refined using the following grammar. Call member expression, yield, await, member expression yield await, arguments yield await. 3, 3, 1 static semantics. 3, 3, 1 static semantics. Early errors. Optional chain. Template literal. Optional chain template literal. It is a syntax error if any source text is matched by this production. ECMA International 2024 259. Note this production exists in order to prevent automatic semicolon insertion rules 12.10 from being applied to the following code A, B, C, so that it would be interpreted as two valid statements. The purpose is to maintain consistency with similar code without optional chaining. A, B, C, which is a valid statement and where automatic semicolon insertion does not apply. Import meter. Import meta. It is a syntax error if the syntactic goal symbol is not module 1.3.3.2 property accesses. Note properties are accessed by name, using either the dot notation, member expression, identifier name call expression, identifier name, or the bracket notation, member expression, expression, call expression, expression. The dot not at ion is explained by the following syntactic conversion. Member expression, identifier name is identical in its behavior to member expression, identifier name string, and similarly, call expression, identifier name is identical in its behavior to call expression, identifier name string, where identifier name string is the result of evaluating string value of identifier name. 3, 3, 2, 1 runtime semantics. Evaluation. Member expression. Member expression. Expression. Let base reference be. Evaluation of member expression. Let base value be. Get value. Base reference. If the source text matched by this member expression is strict mode code, let strict be true, else let strict be false. Return. Capital E V A L U A T E, capital P R O P E R T Y, capital A C C E S S, capital W I T H, capital E X P R. Base value. Expression. Strict. 60. ECMA International 2024. Member expression. Member expression. Identifier name. Let base reference be. Evaluation of member expression. Let base value be. Get value. Base reference. If the source text matched by this member expression is strict mode code, let strict be true, else let strict be false. Return. Capital E V A L U A T E, capital P R O P E R T Y, capital A C C E S S, capital W I T H, capital I D E N. Base value. Identifier name. Strict. Member expression. Member expression. Private identifier. Let base reference be. Evaluation of member expression. Let base value be. Get value. Base reference. Let field name string be the string value of private identifier. Return make private reference. Base value. Field name string. Call expression. Call expression. Expression. Let base reference be. Evaluation of call expression. Let base value be. Get value. Base reference. If the source text matched by this call expression is strict mode code, let strict be true, else let strict be false. Return. Capital E V A L U A T E, capital P R O P E R T Y, capital A C C E S S, capital W I T H, capital E X P R. Base value. Expression. Strict. Call expression. Call expression. Identifier name. Let base reference be. Evaluation of call expression. Let base value be. Get value. Base reference. If the source text matched by this call expression is strict mode code, let strict be true, else let strict be false. Return. Capital E V A L U A T E, capital P R O P E R T Y, capital A C C E S S, capital W I T H, capital I D E N. Base value. Identifier name. Strict. Call expression. Call expression. Private identifier. Let base reference be. Evaluation of call expression. Let base value be. Get value. Base reference. Let field name string be the string value of private identifier. Return make private reference. Base value. Field name string. 3. 3. 3. Capital E V A L U A T E. Capital P R O P E R T Y. Capital A C C E S S. Capital W I T H. Capital E X P R. Base value. Expression. Strict. The abstract operation. Capital E V A L U A T E. Capital P R O P E R T Y. Capital A C C E S S. Capital W I T H. Capital E X P R. Takes arguments base value, an ECMAScript language value, expression, an expression parse node, and strict, a boolean, and returns either a normal completion containing a reference record or an abrupt completion. It performs the following steps when called. Let property name reference be. Evaluation of expression. Let property name value be. Get value. Property name reference. Let property key be. To property key, property name value. Return the reference record. Base value. Property key. Strict. This value. Empty. 3. 3. 4. Capital E V A L U A T E. Capital P R O P E R T Y. Capital A C C E S S. Capital W I T H. Capital I D E N. Base value. Identifier name. Strict. The abstract operation. Capital E V A L U A T E. Capital P R O P E R T Y. Capital A C C E S S. Capital W I T H. Capital I D E N. Takes arguments base value, an ECMAScript language value, identifier name, an identifier name parse node, and strict, a boolean, and returns a reference record. It performs the following steps when called. Let property name string be string value of identifier name. Return the reference record. Base value. Property name string. Strict. Empty. ECMA International 2024 261. 1 3 3 5. Then new operator. 3 3 5 1. Runtime semantics. Evaluation. New expression. New expression. Return. Evaluate new expression. Empty. Member expression. New member expression. Arguments 1. Return. Evaluate new member expression. Arguments 3 3 5 1 1. Evaluate new. Construct expa. Arguments. The abstract operation evaluate new takes arguments construct expa, a new expression parse node or a member expression parse node, and arguments empty or an arguments parse node, and returns either a normal completion containing an ECMAScript language value or an abrupt completion. It performs the following steps when called. Let ref be. Evaluation of construct expa. Let constructor be. Get value. Ref. If arguments is empty, then a let arglist be a new empty list for. Else a let arglist be. Argument list evaluation of arguments. If is constructor is false, throw a type error exception. Return. Construct. Constructor. Arglist. 3 3 6. Function calls. 3 3 6 1. Runtime semantics. Evaluation. Call expression. Capital C O V E R capital C A L L capital E X P R E S S O N capital A
Okay, so
A S Y N C capital A R. Let expo be the call
the fact, I don't know. I had like things I want to try
E R
in assembly, but I can't do them because
E
it looked like the CPU would be able to do certain things,
N
but it can't
N
because it's a crippled 32-bit CPU
E capital A.
with a couple tricks to make it look like it's 64-bit.
Let arguments be the arguments of X.
So I gotta like rethink some of the things I was gonna do. It's annoying,
Get value
but
reference record is property reference ref is
I need to like write some new code instead of being lazy. So like I'm done for now, whatever. But for now, whatever.
then I let arglist be argument list.
Inside the loop, that is
If arglist has no elements, return undefined. 3. Let eval arg be the first element of arglist. 5. If the source text matched by this call expression is strict,
this loop, whatever that prints to these rows.
otherwise let strict caller be false. V return.
I'm grabbing the 0th in the first entry.
Let this call be this call expression. Let tail call be as in tail position. This call return.
And I'm very lazily
Func ref.
comparing the counter.
A call expression evaluation that executes step 6 AV is a direct eval. Call expression arguments. Let
To test for 0, and if it's true, I take the jump here.
get value ref. Let this
If it's not true, it falls through.
let tail call be as in tail
I compare it to 1,
call return
counter.
call fun
True, I take a jump, it also falls through.
tail call 62
If it falls through both, then it just continues.
3 6
If it takes a jump,
fun
either jumps.
arguments.
It goes down here.
The abstract operation evaluate call
Right here, I have a conditional, an unconditional. Unconditional jump. I need some water.
arguments upon
I can't really talk.
boolean and returns either a normal completion containing an east.
Well, I can't talk. My mouth's dry.
It performs the following steps when called.
So,
Then, if is property reference ref
right here is a unconditional jump.
value
So it just jumps over this stuff here,
assert
which is lazy.
is an environment record. 3.
Really, this should be moved.
With base object else let this value be undefined. Let arglist be argument list evaluation of arguments. If func is not an object,
If it'll work, something is wrong. I have to restart all the computers. It's 2025, and the modern operating system can't handle running for like 14, 15 hours without crashing. It's ridiculous.
7. 1 runtime semantics evaluation.
I have to, like, to not be lazy, I gotta cut it,
VB get this environment. Let
paste it down here.
binding. Let property name reference be evaluation of expression. Let property name value be
And then now, the unconditional jump isn't needed
key property name value
because it won't execute the code down here.
code. Let strict be true, else let strict be false.
Because right here is where it exits the process.
Draw this property key
Right here restores the stack pointer.
super
And right here, it throws a halt.
environment. Let actual this be env get this binding. Let
It says a privileged instruction that crashes if ever
is strict mode
reached.
strict be true, else let strict be false. Return
So it's not ever going to enter here. So I don't need this jump.
property key strict super cool super arguments. Let new target be get new target. Assert
But then that would affect the code up there.
be get super construct.
Because if it ever needs this code,
list evaluation of arguments. If this construct,
If I was caring about performance, which I'm not right now,
let result be.
you would want to jump to somewhere close, not all the way over the whole thing to the bottom,
Result. Let f be the 0
just to jump back when it's done.
script function object 1. Perform.
But
F2.
it jumps to here. This move gets overridden,
63.
but I'm loading the address.
To get super
I have to test a couple of things on the address tomorrow.
takes no arguments and returns an ECMA.
Anyways, I'm calling get system time precise as file time.
Record. Let active function be.
So I guess I'm using the file time basically as a timer to speed test things, because the other timers are a joke and they're not real time. They're like clock cycles, which has nothing to do with real time.
The abstract operation
So this will give me the real time.
actual this.
And I think it works, because at the end, after it calls it,
Property key and strict. A boolean.
I move to RDX, result,
Or throw complete.
and then jumps back.
Following steps when called. Let env be get.
So I do this for
Env has super.
when it's 0, the indice is 0 of the loop,
Return the reference
and then 4 when the indice is 1 of the loop.
value. Actual this. 3.
It calls to get the system time precise as file time.
1 runtime semantics. Argument list.
Then it jumps back.
Directed operation argument list evaluation takes no arguments and return.
It jumps back underneath. It jumps back underneath where the other jumps to jump down there where. I think I had food stuck. It said damn pizza. The pizza was horrible, but it tasted so good.
Evaluation of assignment expression. Let's spread OBJB.
I don't know, food stuck in my throat. Now it's clear.
Spread OBJ.
Whatever.
Let next be. Iterate a step value. Iterate a record.
Whatever I was doing here,
See append next to list.
RDX holds the value.
Assignment expression. 1. 2. Let preceding UGS be.
Before these jumps, I set RDX to RD12
E. Evaluation of assignment expression. 64.
because I have a little list up here. And for RD12,
Get value. Ref. Return the list concatenate.
I'm using it to pass in the value, the output to the string message for that line or whatever.
Preceding UGS B. Argument list evaluation of argument list. Let spread ref B. Evaluation of assignment expression. Let iterate a record B.
So this is what DX held, or RDX.
Sync.
It's the same register, just part of it's not assigned. In this case,
Is done.
but when it takes a jump here,
See append next to preceding UGS template
if it takes a jump,
template. Let template literal be this template.
it sets it RDX to the result after
Cite OBJ.
the call was made to get system time precise as file time.
Literal be this template literal. Let cite OBJ be get template object. Template literal. Let remain in B. Argument list eval.
And the CX register is used to pass in the address for the get system time call,
Subref B.
which means that CX has been destroyed, its value,
Ref. Letrist sub B. Substitution evaluation.
but that's fine
Third. Rest sub is a possibly empty list.
because
Tonation of first sub and rest sub. 3.
right here I move to CL16 and I decrement CL here, so it doesn't matter if it destroys what's in CL, because I'm resetting it anyways right here and it's not used before.
if base value is either undefined or null.
But RDX, that does matter because I'm using it here and here
Optional chain. Let
because it holds a value to print.
expression. Let base value be.
C, the C register gets destroyed. But I'm saying it here anyways, so it doesn't matter. But D does matter because I set it when it takes a branch and it overrides this value. So whenever it takes a jump and it jumps back, now D holds what to print, which means that when I run the program,
Optional expression, optional chain. Let base reference be. Evaluation of optional expression. Let base value be. Get value.
after I assemble it,
If base value is either undefined or null, then a return.
file pops up over here. Then I gotta link the object file,
Arguments base value and base reference. 3.
and now the executable shows up. Made the executable whatever. So I click it,
Arguments base value, an ECMAScript language value, and base reference.
and on row 0 and 1, it is now holding whatever was in RDX.
Or in abrupt completion. It is defined piecewise over the following productions. Optional chain.
And what was in RDX
Optional chain. Let tail call be as in tail position. This chain return. Evaluate call.
was the system time precise as file time, which I'm assuming is the time, and I think it might actually be a valid time.
Else let strict be false. Return. Capital E V A L.
Because I ran this like 3, 4, 5 times now maybe. And it looks like it's changing.
E R T
It doesn't look like a garbage value. It looks like it's probably a time.
E S S
So tomorrow,
I T H capital E X P R base value expression
tomorrow I need
chain. Identify a name if the source text match by this optional chain is strict mode.
to make another text chunk, whatever, maybe underneath here.
E V
So I can print a 64-bit value because this only prints 16 bits.
R
I'm just like hijacking it to like test if it works, and I think it's actually getting the time. So tomorrow I need to make a macro that will output it here, put the whole 64 bits, not just 16, and I'll put it as hexadecimal whatever,
identify a name.
and then I'll subtract the two to get the time it took between.
Be the string value of private.
And I think I might have to like make a loop, get the average time, remove the outliers if there's 2 outliers,
Let optional chain be option.
and then I can guesstimate the time it took for
And base reference.
the assembly that I wanted to test like 3 days ago.
Chain be this op. Shine or
And I can compare the assembly speed of my code versus what the C compiler generates
tail
from the C code it gets when it translates it to form assembly language.
optional chain. Let new reference be. Chain
So I don't know.
elements base value and base.
I'm pretty sure this works. This is only progress that I made today, other than researching shit and getting pissed off because everything's a lie and it's not as advanced as it seems.
V A L U A T E capital P R
I'm gonna put
P
this back where it was at.
capital A C C E S S capital W I T H capital E X P R new value expression strict
So tomorrow I'll get the time or whatever twice, and I'll like subtract the difference.
evaluation of optional chain with arguments base.
My contact is stuck in my eye. Holy crap, this hurts. Alright, I'm gonna let the stream run on for 10 more minutes.
Code.
This is the end of the stream. I don't know. The stream doesn't always end, so if I let it go on for 10 more minutes, it probably sends it. There's no point in repeating. I'm just gonna keep repeating myself. I don't know. I'll stream again tomorrow. This contact. Oh my god, my eye. Alright, peace.
C E S S capital W I T H capital I D E N new value identifier name strict 66 ECMA International 2024 optional chain private identifier let optional chain be optional chain let new reference be chain evaluation of optional chain with arguments base value and base reference. Let new value be get value, new reference. Let field name string be the string value of private identifier. Return make private reference, new value, field name string. The 3rd of March 2010 import calls. 3.3.1.0 1 runtime semantics evaluation import call import assignment expression. Let referrer be get active script or module. If referrer is null, set referrer to the current realm record. Let argraph be evaluation of assignment expression. Let specifier be get value, argraph. Let promise capability be new promise capability, %promise %. Let specifier string be completion to string specifier. If abrupt reject promise, specifier string promise capability, perform host load imported module, referrer, specifier string, empty, promise capability, return promise capability, 3.3.1.0.1. 1 continue dynamic import, promise capability, module completion. The abstract operation continue dynamic import takes arguments promise capability, a promise capability record, and module completion, either a normal completion containing a module record or a throw completion, and returns unused. It completes the process of a dynamic import originally started by an import call, resolving or rejecting the promise returned by that call as appropriate. It performs the following steps when called. If a module completion is an abrupt completion, then a perform call promise capability undefined module completion be return unused. Let module be module completion. Let load promise be module load requested modules. Let rejected closure be a new abstract closure with parameters reason that captures promise capability and performs the following steps when called. A perform call promise capability undefined reason be return unused. Let onRejected be create built-in function rejected closure 1. Let link and evaluate closure be a new abstract closure with no parameters that captures module promise capability and onRejected and performs the following steps when called. A let link be completion module link be if link is an abrupt completion, then I perform call promise capability undefined link 2. Return unused. C let evaluate promise be module evaluate. D let fulfilled closure be a new abstract closure with no parameters that captures module and promise capability and performs the following steps when called. I let namespace be get module namespace module 2. Perform call promise capability undefined namespace 3. Return unused. E let unfulfilled be create built-in function fulfilled closure 0. F perform promise then evaluate promise unfulfilled onRejected. G return unused. Link and evaluate be create built-in function link and evaluate closure 0. Let perform promise then load promise link and evaluate onRejected. Return unused. ECMA International 2024 267. The 13th of March 2011 tag templates 3.3.1.1 1 runtime semantics evaluation member expression template literal let tag ref be evaluation of member expression let tag func be get value tag ref let this call be this member expression let tail call be as in tail position this call return evaluate call tag func tag ref template literal tail call expression template literal let tag ref be evaluation of call expression let tag func be get value tag ref Let this call be this call expression. Let tail call be as in tail position. This call. Return. Evaluate call. Tag func. Tag ref. Template literal. Tail call. The 3rd of March 2012 meta properties. 3. 3. 1 2. 1 runtime semantics. Evaluation. New target. New target 1. Return get new target. Import meter. Import meta. Let module be get active script or module. Assert. Module is a source text module record. Let import meter be module. If import meter is empty, then A set import meter to ordinary object create. Null. B let import meter values be host get import meter properties. Module. C for each record. P of import meter values. Do. I perform. Create data property or throw. Import meter. P. D perform host finalize import meter. Import meter. Module. E set module to import meter. F return import meter. Else. A assert. Import meter is an object. B return import meter. 3. 3. 1 2. 1. 1 host get import meter properties. Module record. The host defined abstract operation host get import meter properties takes argument module record, a module record, and returns a list of records with fields, an ECMAScript language value. It allows hosts to provide property keys and values for the object returned from import meter. The default implementation of host get import meter properties is to return a new empty list. Note a tag template is a function call where the arguments of the call are derived from a template literal 1 3 2 8. The actual arguments include a template object 1 3 2 8 4. And the values produced by evaluating the expressions embedded within the template literal. 68. Copyright sign. ECMA International 2024. 1 3 3 1 2 1 2 host finalize import meter. Import meter. Module record. The host-defined abstract operation host finalize import meter takes arguments import meter, an object, and module record, a module record, and returns unused. It allows hosts to perform any extraordinary operations to prepare the object returned from import meter. Most hosts will be able to simply define host get import meter properties and leave host finalize import meter with its default behavior. However, host finalize import meter provides an escape hatch for hosts which need to directly manipulate the object before it is exposed to ECMAScript code. The default implementation of host finalize import meter is to return unused. 3.4 Update expression syntax. Update expression, yield, await, left-hand side expression yield await, left-hand side expression yield await, left-hand side expression yield await, plus unary expression yield await, unary expression yield await, 1 3 4 1 static semantics, early errors, update expression, left-hand side expression plus, no line terminator here, plus, no line terminator here, left-hand side expression. It is an early syntax error if assignment target type of left-hand side expression is not simple. Update expression plus unary expression. Unary expression. It is an early syntax error if assignment target type of unary expression is not simple. 3 4 2 postfix increment operator 1 3 4 2 1 runtime semantics. Evaluation. Update expression. Left-hand side expression plus. Let LHS be. Evaluation of left-hand side expression. Let old value be. Numeric. Get value. LHS. If old value is a number, then a let new value be number. Add old value 1. Else assert old value is a big int. B let new value be big int. Add old value 1z. Perform. Put value. LHS. New value. Return old value. ECMA International 2024 269. 1 3 4 3 postfix decrement operator 1 3 4 3 1 runtime semantics. Evaluation. Update expression. Left-hand side expression. Let LHS be. Evaluation of left-hand side expression. Let old value be. Numeric. Get value. LHS. If old value is a number, then a let new value be number. Subtract old value 1. Else assert old value is a big int. B let new value be big int. Subtract old value 1z. Perform. Put value, LHS, new value, return old value. 3, 4, 4 prefix increment operator 1 3, 4, 4, 1 runtime semantics, evaluation, update